that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Let me get over here and hit record. Oh, am I on the wrong shitballs? Hold on. I recorded on the wrong file.
Balls.
All right, that one's saved. Now it's saved.
Balls
okay.
of shit.
Balls of shit. All right, here we go. We are recording in the following number of 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
I'm a foolish old man who's been drawn into a wild goose chase by a harpy in trousers and a nincompoop.
You give out very little sugar with your pronouncements.
This is the morning stream. Hold on to your butts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TMS. This is the morning stream. The date is Monday, January 27th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson. He's Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian Ibbett.
Hi, Scott Johnson. How are you?
Well, my wife made me some kind of tea that I think is making me all hyperactive today.
Nice. Is it, I know that matcha, that green matcha is like super loaded with caffeine, but that's probably, I mean, you'd look at that and say, you'd know instantly it's green matcha because it's green.
Yeah, it'd be green and it would say it on the thing, but I think this is something brown and I don't know what it is actually. It's not from Gwen, it's some other
brown,
thing.
hot.
All my favorite Gwen teas are out. We've drank them all. And so this is some sort of stand-in. And it's okay, it's fine, but I'm a little spoiled by the PhoenixPearlTea.com teas.
Totally, yes.
Those are quality teas. Those are teas you can look to. Anyway, how are you today? How are you this morning?
I'm good. Still, people are asking, still no resolution on the Apple iTunes thing. However, I went ahead and, so basically I've been sitting on a library that's had nothing imported into it for the last several days.
Right.
A completely empty iTunes library.
Yeah.
And because what's going to happen is they're going to say, okay, we've reset your iCloud music library. Go ahead and start with an empty library, synchronize. Let's make sure it's empty and stays empty and doesn't bring back all the bad stuff.
Right.
And then if that works, then slowly add your music back in and import, little clusters at a time.
Nice.
But if I sit there and wait with an empty library, I can't do anything. I can't prep stuff for Soundography. I can't prep stuff for Coverville. I can't do Guess the Connection. There's so much that I can't do with an empty iTunes library, even though all the music's sitting there on my hard drive.
Right.
And for the last few days of TMS, I've just been like, all right, well, let's grab the indie, and then I'll do a search for the song I want to play. I'll listen to a few different versions and say, okay, we'll play that one.
Yeah.
But I've just went ahead and pulled the trigger and imported my library into the empty library that I created. Now, if they come back today and say, okay, Brian, we've reset, my plan is that I'm going to keep this library good and intact, and then I'm going to create a secondary library that's empty. Try synchronizing. If that works, I'm going to synchronize the full library.
Good die, good idea. Good die. Good
die.
Good
Right?
eye. Good idea, because now you got some redundancy testing. That's good. I like it.
Exactly.
I like it. This is the scientific method, you guys. This is what we're witnessing right here. It's pretty good.
It totally is, yes.
Well, that's a pain in your butt, but I'm glad you've got a plan.
I've at least got a workaround for right now, and it'll let me get stuff back going. And I imagine like we've talked about, I am an Apple case of no one ever uses iTunes or Apple Music like this.
Yeah, you are an edge case, 100%.
This is the Apple equivalent of J.K. Simmons is leading somebody around the museum of Apple Music, and he says, "No, over here we've got Brian Ibbett, who's got 110 songs in his library. Faster, more intense."
I like that it's the version of him that is either J. Jonah
Jameson, yeah,
or he's that guy. What was his name? Something
Whiplash.
Johnson. What was his name in the Portal game? Something Johnson.
Oh, Tor Johnson?
No, was it
not Tor Johnson? Tor Johnson is the guy who played. Is the guy in Ed Wood, the guy who played.
Cave Johnson.
He
was so good.
I was doing the J.K. Simmons that beat the crap out of Reed Richards in Whiplash.
Oh, good. Finally. the one version we all needed and wanted to hear.
Whiplash? Is that what that was called?
I
What
don't
was
know.
the drumming movie? It wasn't Whiplash.
No,
was
it was. Yeah, it was Whiplash, right?
Whiplash?
Whiplash? Something lash? Whip.
Extended Lash?
Extended lash?
It is Whiplash. It just
Okay.
doesn't sound right because it's Whiplash. The term has nothing to do with drumming. I mean,
Yeah.
he's whipping the kid with a lash to
Yeah.
get him to drum better. But
Yeah. Well, nobody uses the music thing like Brian does, so he's an edge case. So as much as I know it's tempting to just for the chat room to go, see, Apple suck. No, calm
exactly,
yourselves
yeah.
down. It's have you ever tried to get Google to do anything? It's a huge pain in the ass. So calm yourselves down. It's fine.
try tricking out your Chrysler LeBaron with every extra add-on feature, and then take it to a Chrysler repair shop and say, "Hey, can you figure out where the rattling's coming from?"
Yeah.
It's going to take them a little bit longer because you've decked out your car with a whole bunch of
good comparison, by the way. That
thank
works. That works because everyone's always you've had a car where there was like a weird noise and nobody could find what it was, and they worked tirelessly to try to figure it out, and they never could. So
Exactly.
it's one of those deals. Anyway, welcome to the wonderful world of digital yippee doopy. All right.
Yippee-doopie.
We got an update we got to share. So our we got a friend. His name is Dodd Vickers. He is a loyal listener and good pal. Works in Georgia, and does a lot of cool stuff there with the film industry. A lot of stuff with TV.
He's a location scout. So basically, when they say, "All right, we're coming to Atlanta to film," we need a place that looks high tech, and then we also need a place with like big, wide open, empty fields where you can't see buildings, and then we need this. And he says, "Oh, yeah, I know exactly the places you need."
Yep. You need shambling zombies. He's got you. You need a place for the Avengers to fight. He's got you. He'll take care of it.
Exactly. Yep.
Anyway, he was listening to the podcast No Agenda, and if you may remember, years and years and years ago, the Adam Curry / John C. Dvorak show, No Agenda, which felt like it had a bit of an agenda that day. But anyway, whatever.
The agenda seemed to be the morning stream.
Right. So, and let's fill people in on that. I'll play that real quick here. Okay, here's the original. Let's see, where is it? Adam Curry here.
So they'll clip that and put it on their show and show you how to use a soundboard.
How to use a soundboard.
So they were making fun of how we use soundboards for stuff and things like that.
Yeah,
And then-
but there was some other. How did it come up before that? Like did they hear that we were playing the Adam Curry clip about, "No, what's MC Hammer doing? You know the guy's got talent."
I think that was it. Yeah, that was the start.
Yeah, that
of
was
it.
like the initial salvo.
Yeah, which was this file here. I'll play that.
And what's MC Hammer doing? You know the guy's got talent.
There's that.
Which
Okay.
is a clip I clipped out of the Daily Source Code back in 2005, just because I thought it was a really funny thing to say.
Right, and it lives on to this day, right?
Lives on to this day.
So then they
exactly,
said, then Adam Curry did this after they heard the intro to our show.
The morning stream.
All right, so that was him doing our.
It's a pretty faithful rendition of our 70s version of the show.
It's really not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. So, as a result, we had a good laugh, and also I think we had a little interaction with Dvorak on Twitter, and he was super. He's nice. He's a nice guy.
He is. And
He plays gruff, but he's actually really nice, and he likes my comics, and he thinks it's cool that we have this show and it's a following. You know, it was a nice
I'm a big
exchange.
fan of his keyboard layout too.
Yeah.
I think it's
Also,
great.
I think QWERTY needs to go away. Let's get the Dvorak in here. I agree. Have you ever actually tried to use one? It really threw me. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and using any different keyboard layout, I freak out when I have to do one of those. Using the remote to enter things on a keyboard, and it's not in QWERTY order; it's in A B C D E order.
Oh, right.
And you're moving your little cursor around with a little button on a remote trying to get stuff.
Yeah, or a controller or something. I hate that. Ugh.
Yeah,
Hate
that
it.
too.
But anyway, so don't go changing keyboards. We're fine where we're at. So, anyways, this all came up again. He was listening to the show. I guess somebody else reached out to those guys, and I'm going to play that exchange. Okay, so this is the most recent conversation they had on the Daily Source Code about us. And remember, Adam Curry, former VJ, one of the founding VJs of MTV.
Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
He was the host of.
Did he do Headbangers? I didn't know that. I forgot.
Yeah,
about
he
that.
was the guy with that. You saw his hair. I mean,
Well,
what other show? They're not going to put him in front of 120 minutes or Introducing the latest episode of Remote Control, starring Adam Sandler and Colin Quinn.
Right. It's a good point. Oh, I love that Colin Quinn show. What was that called? Remote Control. Yeah.
Remote Control. Yeah.
Yeah. You just
Poor
said
Ken Ober. Ken Ober, the host of that show, probably can't
Yeah,
even
where is
get a
that guy
parking
now?
space close to King Supers. But
Yeah, where is
everybody
Ken
else
Ober
is,
these days? Oh, he died.
Oh no!
I mean,
really?
not that I'm laughing at his death. I'm laughing because Brian brought up a dead guy. Hold on, let me look.
Oh yeah, 2009. Oh, I'm sorry, Ken Ober.
Oh, Ken Ober died. Oh, that's too bad.
All right.
All right, I liked Remote Control a lot. That was a great show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's the clip. This is them. I call this "Meanwhile" on No Agenda, and check out their little conversation they had.
No, it was like the normal. It was actually the first one I ridiculed, which the guys got a kick out of, was the morning stream.
Yeah. Oh boy, did that stir up a whole bunch of crap. So you don't live in the online world. You close the show and you're done. You go finish your book.
I'm out of here.
You're writing vinegar stories, and I have to deal with the fallout. You know, it's because no one emails you. I get it all.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, the guys at the morning stream, are great.
Is that still on?
I don't know if it is anymore. That's a good question. That which is,
That is a good
I don't
question.
know if it is. These guys do a lot of work.
Damn straight we do, John C.
We do a
Dvorak.
lot
Damn
of-
straight.
yes.
We do a lot of work, and we're still here.
Nearly 2,000 episodes.
Yep. I guess
John
we are,
C.
whatever the definition of still around, we are it and more.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get it. Like, I wouldn't know if No Agenda ended 3 years ago because I don't listen to the show. I don't know.
Right. They're just different. It is the different circles of. We all used to be in one circle.
Right.
We all used to be in this whole little podcasting circle because there were 4 of us.
Sure.
Making podcasts.
Sure. There was only a handful. We hung out at Podcast
That's
Alley.
right.
We did the best we
It was
could.
me and Don and Drew and Scott and
Yep.
and
I think Liz.
Keith and
yeah,
the girl,
Keith and the girl.
and,
She counts as a second person. The girl.
right and
Who else? What are some other
Michael
names?
Gohagan and
Oh my gosh. Just saying these names makes me.
the Engadget podcast. They were one of the first ones I remember.
Oh yeah, that was good. That's
the Podcast Brothers.
Veronica's
Borkman-
husband was on
Borkman's.
that. Was on the.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, Ryan
Okay.
Block was the co-host of the Engadget podcast. Like those were the days. And Adam was
Yes.
there, of course, and he was fighting with what's his name about who really invented podcasting, and then Ricky Gervais came along and called himself the Podfather, even though it was already a name.
Ricky Gervais came along and invented podcasting, and
Mark Maron came about
then-
5 years later and invented it again.
invented podcasting. Adam Carolla came around and said, "Hey, I'm gonna invent podcasting.
Yep.
Look at here's women jumping on trampolines."
They're currently it's being reinvented by what's his name from News Radio, whose name I can never remember. He's a MMA guy. He's a comedian.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's inventing it again. So
Yes,
everyone's
right,
reinventing podcasting. And meanwhile, we were here doing it all the time.
You're here the whole time, inventing it over and over again.
It's good stuff. All right. So there's that. Hope you enjoyed it. Quick note, or a bit of a tease, actually. So
Okay.
some may not know this. I don't know. But my first real foray into the internet and content creation started in 1999, 1998, somewhere in there, in the form of a comic strip that I posted online. Some might call it a web comic. All right. That comic was called Real Tunes. It was all about a video game that I was playing. And anyway, it's a long story. You don't have to go look it up. But they sucked. I was bad then. Anyway. So that even preceded the podcasting stuff, which technically started later that same year, but the comics have always been a big part of what I do. And if you have followed the myextralife.com comic over the last 15 years, you'll know that that's a thing I also did, and that started on GameSpy and still runs to this day. However, some may say to themselves, hey Scott, haven't seen a new comic project from you in a while. And I would say that is correct. You have not seen that from me in quite a while. That's about to change. And that's the tease. I'm not going to tell you anything else. We're getting close, though, to launching it, and it'll be rad, and I'm excited. And it actually unearths and breathes new life into an old dead idea I had a long time ago for a comic idea that I should have done then, and I didn't do it because I thought it was too obscure and weird. Now I'm at a place in my life where I don't care if anyone thinks it's weird. I'm just going to do it.
You know what? Yeah.
It's not about a duck. It's not the return of XP. XP was experience points was started as like it was a paid deal. It's a paid gig. And I did that until they stopped paying me. So that one doesn't count, although I did love doing that. But this thing is wholly mine. It's not, there's nobody's swooping in and going, hey, you should do a comic and we'll pay. It's not like that. It's just me doing it. And it's weird, conceptually weird, and I don't care anymore how weird it is. I'm ready. The world's going to be ready or not.
Excited.
Yeah.
And the best projects come out of the creators saying, I'm putting this out because I'm excited about it. Not, well, I've done the market research and these are the things that people like. They want to see llamas. They want to see twerking, and they want Baby Yoda. So I'm going to have Baby Yoda twerking on the back of a llama.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do. You know what it is, though? This is what's funny. I've been having a lot of like esoteric thought moments about what even is a freaking webcomic in 2020. Like, what are we doing? Is it for so long it was about you must have your own domain, and on that domain you must have navigatable comics, and they must have an about page where your characters are described, and then when you make them, there'll be 4 panels, and they'll be shaped just like comics of old.
Right, exactly.
You know, like there was this weird kind of effort to do that. It made sense at the time. But as you look at the landscape now, domains don't matter. People passing the stuff around on Imgur, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, that's where stuff gets disseminated now. And people are reading stuff on their phones. Like it's a different planet. And so I'm thinking about a lot of that stuff. Anyway, it's interesting because on the one hand, I'm kind of like trying to do, I feel myself gravitating toward the old way. Like, comics, but on the screen, you know?
Sure.
And instead, I'm trying to think outside that box.
What would you think? And too late to change the stream that you're moving on. The water stream, not the
water stream. Right. Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
But could there be an app that gives you the daily issue of your comic? And let's say it's 4 panels one day, 6 panels, but you only see, like, basically you read it 1 panel at a time. You read a panel, you swipe, and then you get the next panel. And that way you don't like accidentally see a visual joke in the last panel as you're reading the first one. You're surprised by the ending thing.
This already exists. It's called Instagram.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah, and that is my other main point. The desire or the tendency, and I don't blame people for having this sense because I get it. But the feeling is what if it was in its own thing, or what if it was over here in its own little corner, or what if you had to open an app to see it? And I think it's the wrong-headed way to look at it because no one gets that. No one ever finds it. Like you'll find you'll have a few people who dedicate themselves to it and every day check the app, but you're not going to get it out there. Like you have to have it body surf through all the social. You have to. Or else why are you doing it?
Yeah, because then people can share it. And for the record, I do know, because I read comics in the Marvel app all the time, I know they've got that guided view that does panel by panel, which I really love. I love the fact that, I swipe, I see the full page if there's like a really cool kind of dynamic big panel thing, and then it goes panel by panel and shows me the stuff. But that's the big companies doing that. I'd love to see like an app made by webcomic creators, the little guys who do that sort of thing.
Right. The only downside is that you're creating potentially a kind of a walled garden.
A little central ecosystem that doesn't go out to the social.
And the whole idea is to get uncentralized. Like, otherwise your stuff just doesn't get discovery. And so people are so worried about how their website's
why don't we
doing.
just put everything on TikTok then, Scott?
Well, I ain't putting it there. I can tell you that. I do like that new Byte app, though, by the way. It's good.
Oh, have you tried it? The Vine replacement?
Yeah, it's basically just Vine again, with some better features and slightly different orientation. But the 6-second rule applies, and there's something to that because with longer form video, which is also fine for what it is, it doesn't have the same creative possibilities. When you're limited to 6 seconds, that limitation forced people to get really creative.
Yes.
And sometimes you would just see the coolest ideas for animated loops, or it's a very creative format. in the right hands. And so I have high hopes for this because it seems like a big uptick over the last few days. I've been watching it, checking it out, putting some my own stuff up there. It's neat.
Cool.
So you guys should check it out. It's good.
Now, how's for the layman? Me, I'm waving. I'm a layman.
Layman. Hey, layman.
How's what's the difference then between TikTok and Vine as far as like, because TikTok is still limited. Limitations are the same, right? TikTok is still like limited to a few seconds.
No. TikTok can go up to a minute. So you can do a full minute on TikTok.
Gotcha.
And the way TikTok works is it's anything between short and that minute. And I think it's anything over 30 seconds actually is the only time you know how long it's going to go, that it'll go a full minute.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's just the technical difference. The other differences, I mean, there are navigation differences and stuff like that. But the main difference for me is there's kind of a, not cultural, but sort of there's a vibe difference between what Vine was and maybe what Byte will be and what TikTok is. It's just kind of a lot of dancing teenagers, and you have to kind of navigate around it to try to find the good stuff and
navigate around the dancing teenagers.
Yeah.
That's a street sign I saw the other day.
Yeah, a lot less of that happening on a 6-second platform. So
okay, all right.
It seems neat. Like if I guess what I'm saying is if people liked Vine when it was at its heyday, this is that. Although they're still new and they've been in beta for a while, but you'll see a lot of familiar faces on there, like people that used to do Vine all the time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Nice. A lot of those popular ones, also people that are popular on TikTok are all trying it out. So you're seeing a lot of sort of crossover. And then there's a lot of, they'll get through all this, but there's a ton of videos going back and forth where don't bring your TikTok trash to my house, and a lot of just smack talk about the formats, but that's dumb. Anyway, it's neat. It seems neat, and they need some better sharing features. There's some other stuff I would tweak about it, but I'm sure that's all coming.
Cool.
But,
well, you know what? I'm going to take a look at Byte today and maybe create a 6-second return, because you remember, I mean, me and Chris Brown were the were the kings of Vine.
Yeah. You were killing it then with Chris Brown. You and Chris Brown.
Me and Chris Brown killing it with Vine.
when he wasn't punching somebody, he was on Vine. And he was great.
Poor guy.
I really feel for him. What was I going to say about that? I forgot. It's like 2013 up in there. That's how it kind of feels.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. I'm good with that. I liked 2013. I'll go back.
I did too. Those are good years. I like 2013. I like 2014. I like 2015.
Yeah. But 2016, the wheels started coming off the car.
Yeah, didn't really like that year. Pull over.
Exactly. Do you hear that?
All right, let's do the next thing, which is how'd you went to trivia the other day? How'd that go?
I did. I went to trivia. So Thursday night we did trivia. Then I took a day off on Friday, and then Saturday we had a tournament we went to, and I put photos of it up on online. But we took second place. So now this is 3/4 of the team that we take to Geek Bowl, the Geeks Who Drink Chicago or wherever it goes every year.
Right.
So it's me with a couple of the same people, but a bunch of different people that do the Geek Bowl.
Right.
Took second place. I wish I could remember one of the questions that we missed. Because we were
super curious.
We were
that.
trading first and second with another team pretty regularly. Oh, yeah, our final. So we had a 2-parter where you had to name the 9 states with the lowest percentage of inland water compared to the size of the state.
Oh, geez.
So
I wouldn't know that.
The size of the state compared to the size of the inland water. And then the second half of it was naming the 10 countries that produce the most motor vehicles. Not necessarily, and even the quizmasters had a hard time describing this. Not necessarily the 10 countries whose companies, the companies from that country produce the most vehicles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Like more vehicles are produced in Mexico,
right?
But there aren't like Mexican brands that are up there with like Saab and Audi and Volkswagen and stuff like that. But they do produce a lot of cars in there.
Yeah.
So
they actually produce most Volkswagens now. Actually,
they do. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we had a hard time with that one. And we could give as many answers as we wanted. For every one we got right, we got 2 points. For every one we got wrong, we got -3 points. So you could put, if you stab in the dark and put 8 answers, but 4 of them are wrong,
Yeah.
you're losing points. So you got to be very strategic and can play conservatively and say, all right, well, these 3 are absolutely a lock.
Do
And
you guys
then,
get in a zone like you're kind of just like super focused and like I don't know, really intense? Is it an intense thing? No,
not at all. I mean, there's we're laughing and joking around and playing, having fun. There's never really a there's not really a vibe with the trivia team I'm on where we get all
Well,
super.
you do have the one conspiratorial guy though, right? You got him.
We do, yes.
All right, just checking.
Oh, that's the tweet. Okay, that I was trying to figure out the tweet this last weekend with the photo.
Was
yes.
that the guy? Was that the dude?
That's the guy.
Okay.
I thought you were saying conspiracy because he had a set of Bluetooth headphones wrapped around his neck. Like, this is a
no. No, I just meant that's the guy that he's not flat earther, but whatever it is he's into, that's the guy.
right.
Anyway.
Yes, he's he's no flat earther. He's no like he's not believing that the shape-shifting lizard people are making chemtrails that are turning us all gay.
Yeah.
But there are some. I mean, he's got opinions, and we.
Does he think 9/11? Does he think 9/11 was an inside job? Does he think?
No, he does not.
Okay.
He does not.
Does
And
he?
believes
You know
that
what?
The moon landing really happened.
Does he think? Does he think that Epstein wasn't a suicide? Because I actually would agree with him. I don't think he was.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think. I think that we all agree that. Well, at least the 3 of us probably would agree that I don't think.
Oh, what happened to the security cameras? Oh, we don't know. They just stopped working.
Yeah.
Weird.
No. Yeah. So when I, talking about him, he's certainly not a conspiracy theorist in the common current definition of conspiracy theory.
Yeah. There's a range. I get it. That's true.
Yes.
Okay.
But so we're gearing up. Oh, and I went to trivia last night too. So in the last 4 days, I've played pub trivia, 3 of those 4 days.
Wow.
But we're gearing up. So beginning of March 7th, I believe is the date. That's Saturday. I'm going to be in Chicago with the team. We're going to be doing the big competition. This is the big $10,000. This is the one that you go for every year.
Sure.
And we've won a couple of years, but
what's the big date for that when you go? February. Sometime.
March 7th.
Oh, March 7th. Okay.
Yes, March 7th.
March. Oh, that'd be good. You'll rock it. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a few listeners while I'm out there. I think we're going to try and maybe do a Friday night meetup deal.
Nice.
Somewhere. What kind of a meetup deal? But
you should go to Girardi's or whatever it's called, the pizza thing. I love that.
Yeah.
Pizza. Brian, that's some good points.
Pizza. It's great pizza. And believe me, you look at how much those points are for those, kind of worth it. But it doesn't lend itself to the ideal meetup location, because then you basically you're at a table with 5 people who get to talk to you. And
do you have to work? Okay, here's a question for the trivia inclined.
Yeah.
Somebody who goes a lot of this trivia stuff. Do you feel is there certain foods / drinks / whatever you avoid before a competition because those things make you feel logy or tired or scatterbrained, or like is there any conventional wisdom about that? Like
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, drinking. It's funny because all of these trivia things take place at bars and pubs and breweries and stuff like that. We tend to try and stay away from the hard liquor for the first 3 quarters of the game.
Yeah.
And food wise, you know what? I don't even think about that. I think I usually go for places usually have like a wrap, like a Caesar wrap, or a really good Southwestern salad, something like that. But I imagine if I did have like give me the double bacon cheeseburger with chili fries, I imagine that I would spend so much time cleaning myself off that I might miss a question or two, or evacuating my bowels nearing the 4th round.
I mean, like, what if it was like Diet Coke makes me forget things or something like that? Like,
no,
nothing like that. Okay,
nothing like that. And we don't even say like, oh no, only eat salmon the day before a trivia game for the omega 3 vitamins and stuff like that. Nah.
Okay. All right. No fish oil before a tournament.
No fish oil.
That's.
I mean, none that we wouldn't normally get anyway. But we don't specifically seek out the fish oil.
Right. You might get fish, but not for
we
that
might
reason.
get fish,
Yeah.
but not fish oil.
Yeah,
Yes.
we asked for more fish. No, I get it. All right. Well, shall we play a game, as they said in
speaking
more
of
games?
trivia, let's keep it up. Let's do some.
Let's get trivial. Let's have you guys at home potentially win some big money. And let's bring our pal Brian Dunaway in with the following theme song. Hey, welcome to Babble Royale, everybody, starring the one, the only Brian Dunaway. Hello.
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Brian.
Hey, man. Hey.
How you guys doing this morning?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Good.
Hey,
how are you?
Were you pretty sad?
I'm doing good. I was just sitting here eating some fish oil.
Yeah, yeah.
Listening to you
Good.
guys.
Well, that'll help you with this game for sure.
What do you
That's
do? Like
right.
a like a
I'm
bowl
guzzling
of
it by
like,
the gallon.
Is like
What's that now?
Is it like a bowl of cold fish oil? Mm.
That's right. Yeah, I'm sopping it up with some bread.
Oh,
Just gonna sop
dude,
it right
that
up.
sounds gross. That sounds so gross to me. Man, that sounds gross. All right.
Got some cornbread and just gonna sop that stuff right up.
Well, when you're in the South,
Goody.
you do what the Southerners do. I get it. It's good to have you here. Of course, all the way from South Carolina and all things rad internet things. We'll talk more about that after. You're here to play a little bit of a game with someone who's already called in. Let me see who we have here. Hi. Thanks for holding. Who's this?
It's Bobby Frankenberger from South Carolina.
Wow, Bobby Frankenberger. I haven't heard Bobby
Frankenberger.
I haven't heard his voice since he was heavily competing in season 2. That's weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Yeah, it's freaking me out. It's weird to hear it. It's very strange to hear it in this context. Bobby, how are you? How the heck are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
How are you guys?
Well.
Good.
Yeah. Except we want you to win something. That's how we feel right now. Right
Yeah,
now,
we
that's
want
how
you
I
to
feel.
finally win something.
Yeah. It'd be nice, you know.
Oh, that is brutal.
Not nice.
If you guys are hearing this going, why are they all so familiar with Bobby? Go listen to season 2 of ANTP, America's Next Top Podcaster, and listen to some of the best podcasting competition I've ever heard. It's very good.
Yeah, some amazing stuff coming out of that, and I think Bobby, you were partially responsible for one of the entries that jury said, "This one's ready to go right now. You can turn around and make this a podcast right now."
Yeah, that sounds like jury.
That was Jury doing his John C. Dvorak impersonation.
Yeah. Wow, he's getting better all the time. Yeah, you were really good. And what you should do is you should look at this like the way that American Idol second placers often end up winning everything or end up getting the best careers, where the winners don't so much. It's like, oh, where's Ruben Studdard these days? I don't know, but that little shorty guy got a bunch of contracts. So it's like that. You're the little shorty guy.
Clay Aiken? Is he the Clay Aiken of America's Next Top
Yeah,
Podcast?
he's Clay Aiken. He's who's the other one? The blonde who did real good.
He's the Carrie Underwood of
yes.
He's the Jennifer Hudson of America's Next Top Podcast.
Yes, all of those things. So keep that in mind. Hold that warmly to your heart, and let's play a game now. Brian, you want to explain what Bobby could win and how he'll win it and what our topic is?
I'll do all of those things. Yeah. So
Great.
I'm going to give Scott and Brian a topic. They're going to go back and forth with answers for that topic. Scott and Brian are not allowed to Google answers nor allowed to write down answers they've used. But if one of them gives a wrong answer, a repeated answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer, the win will go to the other player. Bobby, your job is to predict who's going to come out on top based on today's topic. Today, you're playing for a couple of Steam games. It's funny. These are ones that we've given away. And the people have said, "Oh, I already have that one in my Steam library because it's so good. Please give it away to another player." Bastion and Monaco, what's yours is mine.
Oh, that's a great pairing. That's very good.
It's
Wow.
a really good couple of games.
Yeah.
So you can win those too. Now, our category today comes from a discussion that we had last week. As a matter of fact, Joe Acosta was listening and said, "Hey, listen to those chuckleheads talking about the Smurfs. There are 97
Smurfs.
Oh
Smurfs.
no.
97 Smurfs. Can you believe there are 97
Oh,
Smurfs?
there's 97 Smurfs? Oh my god.
There are 97 Smurfs. How many of the 97 Smurfs can you name? It's so many Smurfs, it takes 2 pages for me to have to track them all.
That's a lot.
So
of Smurfs.
Bobby,
Wow.
and I'm going to be. Let's see. What should we do
Yeah,
here?
how can you be too lenient? Because
I can't be too lenient because their name is their
most of them
name.
are very easy.
No, I'm just wondering if I should give any mulligans on this one. Yeah, you know what? I'll give you each one mulligan.
Okay.
One mulligan.
One mulligan.
One mulligan. All right. So, Bobby, knowing that that's the topic, and big thanks again to Joe Acosta for sending this one in. By the way, these comes from the comics, the cartoons, the feature films, and video games.
Wow, the video games are the ones I definitely missed.
Right.
By the way, can I just say this about Joe Acosta? He sounds like he should host a sports radio show.
Totally does.
Joe Acosta's got the latest scores after this. Like, it's a total sports
Gridiron podcast with Joe Acosta.
Joe Acosta. Anyway.
All right.
Sorry.
So,
go ahead.
Bobby, who do you want to go first, and who do you think is going to win this one?
Well, I think Brian Dunaway is going to win. And I'm going to go with the normal, like, Scott will go first. See if we can get him to spend some of his early.
Yeah, my early low fruit. Here we go. All right, Brian, I'm going to start with Papa Smurf because we just talked about that dude.
Good.
It's a good one to start with. Yep. The classic Papa Smurf. I think he's the ipso facto leader of the Smurfs.
He's got the red pants, I think.
His red clothes, his bushy white mustache and beard.
Yeah.
Hey, he's like a little blue Santa Claus.
He sure is. Isn't he?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with his understudy, Brainy Smurf.
Brainy Smurf, very good. Brainy Smurf.
Crap. That's a bad sign.
Considers himself the most intelligent Smurf in the village and an expert on everything, but his knowledgeable is really questionable at best.
Smurfette, she doesn't have pants.
That's a good one.
She has a dress.
Yep, with nothing on underneath.
We don't know that. It was never revealed that there was nothing under Smurfette's dress.
Hey, I've searched the internet. I've seen things I can never take back.
She actually originally had black hair, but when Papa Smurf turned her into a good Smurf, her hair became blonde. Because as we know,
as you do. Yeah,
that's evil. And blondes are good.
That must have come from, was that from back in the French, when the French owned this thing? Or this is originally a French thing, right? Like some kind of,
I think so.
Yeah, those guys are weird. All right, Dunaway.
Back
All
to
right,
Brian.
my turn. Okay, I'm gonna go with Jokey Smurf because he always likes to blow up the presents.
Sure. Good old Jokey Smurf. The village prankster. He
only had
always
one
used
prank.
the same form of joke, yellow and red wrapped present boxes that he offers to his victims, saying that is a surprise. When opened, the present box explodes with a sizable quantity of black smoke.
Oh my gosh, I'm already running out here. There's always a grouchy thing, and I think there's a grouchy Smurf.
Yeah.
So that sounds about right. Am I right?
There is indeed a grouchy Smurf. Grouchy Smurf, the misanthropic grouch of the Smurf village. His catchphrase is, "I hate something that somebody else mentions." Yes, exactly.
And is grouchy, not grumpy?
It is grouchy, not grumpy.
Right.
Okay.
No, you're thinking of the Seven Dwarves. Yes, it's grouchy.
All right.
It does feel like there are some parallels, right? Like Papa Smurf is basically the Doc.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know what came first, but it does feel like they're riffing on it a little bit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, definitely the Seven Dwarfs. So I'm going to go with the only tattooed, well, as far as we know, Smurf, Hefty Smurf.
What? There's no such thing as a Hefty Smurf.
Hefty,
absolutely. Hefty Smurf.
He has an incredible strength and is often seen doing a lot of the heavy work in the village. He also has a tattoo on his right arm of a red heart with an arrow through it because he loves love.
Yes, love.
His favorite activity is, or maybe he hates love, is lifting weights and doing other forms of exercise, and is often the one to kick Brainy out of the village whenever he is boasting.
Yep.
Okay.
Hefty, going to Brian.
The only other one I remember, I'm not sure about the name. There was a little baby Smurf for a while, so I'll just say Baby Smurf.
Baby Smurf. Baby Smurf.
Smurf.
Baby Smurf.
Got a baby butt Smurf.
Yeah. Brought by Feathers the Stork on the night of the blue moon. That is literally the only piece of information that I have.
No, you know what that should say? Let me translate it for you. Came from the vagina and womb of Smurfette, fathered by Papa Smurf late in the night.
Right.
Because they were
was
weird.
oddly born with red pants.
Weird.
That's right. All right, Brian.
All right, I'm going to go with Handy Smurf, the only Smurf with a pencil in his ear.
Wow, look at you remembering.
We've recently been marathoning the Smurfs.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah. So we've been watching it.
Wow, this is where Jury would yell and scream like, "Oh sure, pick the category that they've been binge watching." Handy Smurf wears overalls, has a visor attached to the front of his cap, and a pencil above his ear. He's the handyman in the Smurf
And
village.
I could hear his voice all the time.
That's right. He actually even created 2 other Smurfs. We'll talk about them in a
Yeah,
little bit.
little. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't say anything. You can give it away here.
Actually, we can include them because on my list it says not an actual Smurf. So he created.
Okay, good. Yeah,
created,
they're 2 little wooden Smurfs. Yeah. Clockwork Smurf, right?
Clockwork Smurf and.
Oh, and there was a girl version too, so I'm assuming it's Clockwork Smurfette.
That's exactly right. Clockwork Smurf and Clockwork Smurfette, created by Handy Smurf.
Would those have counted as answers, or are those just sub answers?
Everybody's always making Smurfs, but they never make Smurfs. If you know what I mean.
Never do the Smurf.
Right, but they're always trying to explain why there's more
back
Smurfs.
In my tent.
All right.
Yeah, no, Clockwork Smurf and Clockwork Smurfette were not officially Smurfs, so Brian giving those answers does not count towards anything.
Does that mean Smurfette is their in-universe term for a girl?
Yeah, she's the only one. She has boobs. She's
and a whole closet full of.
So her name is basically just girl.
Yeah, it's
like,
girl.
Hey, girl.
Yeah. And she's the female Smurf in the village. No one else is a girl except the robot one that this handy person made. It's pretty psycho, dude.
You don't want to kiss that because you're gonna get splinters.
Yeah, I don't like it. All right, probably my final moment here. I guess I get a mulligan, right?
You do have a mulligan, yeah, but it means you have to come up with one right away afterwards if you're wrong.
Is there a stinky Smurf?
There is, in fact, a stinky Smurf.
Shut up, dude! Shut up!
That must have been some later on stuff. I've never heard of no stinky Smurf.
Stinky Smurf. Let's see. Let me find it. I think it was one in the video games, if I remember. Boy, it's down way. Oh, here it is, right here. He hated to wash, which gave him an awful and unbearable body scent, making him attract flies and repel his fellow Smurfs, especially Smurfette.
Oh man.
Well, at 90 plus Smurfs, there was a good chance that you were going to pick something.
That's right.
Describe.
I cannot believe I got that.
I think he actually went through a name change. He although he once managed to thwart Gargamel using his stench, he was forcefully given a bath and became nice-smelling Smurf. Actually, looks like this was from a comic.
Okay.
One issue of the comics.
Okay. A one-off comic about how Stinky Smurf became Clean Smurf. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go with Vanity Smurf, who's always looking at himself in that stupid mirror, and he's got that little flower over his ear.
That's right, Narcissmurf. Vanity Smurf, the epitome of a narcissist. He has a flower in his hat, and he often holds a hand mirror, staring at his own reflection, which he kisses often. In the second movie, he becomes Commando Smurf, which I guess means he doesn't wear underwear.
I took my sisters to see the Smurfs movie way back in the day.
Yeah.
It was the magic. Was it the Magic Flute?
You mean the old one? Like real old?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of that, but yeah, I remember that was a thing. Not the live action combo thing they did a few years ago, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Never saw that.
All right, back to Scott.
Okay. Well, we're really down to the wire here. What other name can I make up and be lucky to get here? Diabetic Smurf.
Diabetes Smurf.
And there goes your
sugar Smurf.
Mulligan.
That's my mulligan. All right, so that's not gonna work.
Yeah,
he's got the sugar. He's the sugar Smurf.
Diabetes.
Let's see.
There you go.
All right, how about I don't know. Colostomy bag Smurf. No. Let's hold on. Let's just say Happy Smurf.
Happy Smurf. Very good.
Oh,
no, not a Smurf.
Oh shit!
Not a Smurf.
I'm so excited. I was sure I got another one. Damn it!
No, there was no. Believe it or not, there was no Happy Smurf. There really was a sneezy.
Right. Yeah.
A dopey Smurf.
Yeah, I remember Dopey Smurf.
Dopey and Sneezy, really? Wow.
Which I didn't understand when they had Dopey because they already had Clumsy, which I'm sure you love because he's one step away from,
Let me look these up.
humor.
I'm gonna see. Do you have a list somewhere? I want to see.
There is a sleepy Smurf. Yeah, I can actually just send you a link to the same thing.
He was always.
Sent me.
Imagine anything that would create conflict, and there you goes your Clumsy Smurf and your Sleepy Smurf, and
Oh, there it is. Okay.
But you can't forget about Chef Smurf, right?
What?
Chef Smurf. There was Chef Smurf and Cook Smurf and Pastry Chef Smurf.
Whoa.
So
I
really
pastry
quickly,
chef.
really quickly, here's the whole list. Smurfjade, Alchemist Smurf, Architect Smurf, Baker Smurf, Chef Smurf, Clueless Smurf, Clumsy Smurf, Compliment. I'm just going to say their first names. Complimentary, Cook, Crazy, Dabbler, Doctor Who Smurf. Really?
Doctor Who, wait,
Doctor Who
what?
Smurf?
That can't be canon. Come on.
Wow.
Don Smurfo, also not a real Smurf. Dopey Smurf,
Oh,
Dreamy
yeah, Don
Smurf,
Smurf.
Drummer, Editor, Enamored, Farmer, Finance, Fisher, Flighty, Flying Smurf, aka
Flying
Aviator Smurf, Grandpa Smurf.
What? Wait, what's the
that's
difference between him and
confused
the other
Papa
guy?
Smurf?
Yeah,
Who
but
knows?
no, Grandpa Smurf and Baby Smurf. It was like an episode or something. I remember them doing something together.
Oh my God.
Greedy, Gullible, Gutsy, Hackus Smurf. Don't know what that. Harmony Smurf, Hunter Smurf, Karate King, Lazy. Well, Karate
Oh,
Smurf.
Lazy.
Not all the same one. Yeah, Lazy. I'm surprised Lazy didn't get.
Yeah,
otherwise known as
he
Sleepy
was a
Smurf.
huge one. Yeah.
Another the Seven Dwarf. Loser, Lucky, Lumberjack Smurf, aka Timber Smurf, Magician Marco, Mime, Miner, Nanny Smurf, Natural Smurf,
Natural Smurf.
Natural
Look at me.
Smurf,
I don't have no
Navigator,
pants.
Nobody Smurf, Nosy, Nurse, Painter,
Nosy.
Paranoid, Party Planner Smurf, Passive Aggressive Smurf,
Wow. Wow.
Some of this
Pastry
stuff has
Cook,
gotta be later
Poet,
on.
Policeman, Pretentious, Pushover, Reflection Smurf, otherwise known as the 100th Smurf,
Yeah.
Reporter, Sassette. Sassette Smurfling
Oh,
was
yeah,
actually the
Sassette.
other female Smurf added to the.
Wait,
Smurf
was
village.
Nurse Smurf a male nurse?
Quite possibly. You know,
Oh.
men can be nurses too.
Oh no, totally.
Yeah.
Best nurse I ever had was a dude. Anyway.
Scaredy Smurf, Schemer Smurf, Sloppy Smurf, Slouchy Smurfling, Smooth Smurf,
Oh, I don't like
Smooth
Smurf.
and Convincing Smurf,
Yeah.
Smurf Blossom.
Don't like
Here's a
that.
bunch that are just like so Smurfette, but you've also got Smurf Blossom, Smurf Philly, Smurf Melody, Smurf Storm, and Smurf Willow. Snappy, Sneezy, Social Smurf, Submariner Smurf, Sweepy.
Social media Smurf. What?
Social Smurf. Here's one: table eating Smurf.
What?
I guess he eats tables.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Taylor, Timid, Tracker, Tuffy,
Oh, yeah, Taylor
Vexy,
Smurf.
Taylor Smurf, Weakling, Weepy, Wild, Winner, and Woolly Smurf.
Woolly. Oh, what was Woolly Smurf? Just all hairy?
I'll take a look here in this list.
Am I
actually
He was
remembering-
good friends with Natural Smurf.
Yeah, Natural
Yeah.
Smurf and Woolly Smurf hanging out together all the
Woolly,
time.
unshaven Smurf.
Do I remember Peewit becoming a Smurf, or is that like some fan fiction I wrote in my head?
What was it?
Peewit. It was the he was okay. So there was like for a while they had like this annoying couple of characters that were kind of like Camelot kind of age characters that were human
like-
characters that were
Right.
always had these
Medieval.
little side stories. No, they were good guys.
Huh.
But they were
No,
always
I-
coming across. Yeah, with the king.
No, I didn't
and
say evil. I
Peewit
said
and-
medieval.
Oh, medieval. Yeah, I'm sorry, medieval.
Yeah. By the way, Nurse Smurf is the Smurf's residential nurse. He is shown in Volume 12 wrapping another Smurf's finger. Woolly Smurf is the Smurf's residential sheep shearer who shears sheep. Duh. He
Wow.
wears a wool hat and shears on a belt. Woolly often talks with a Texan accent.
Wow. Often, but not always? Only
Often,
sometimes?
but not always. I want to look up table. I got to find table eater.
This is amazing. All right, well.
They have tiny sheep, I guess.
Yeah, a little tiny.
As his name implies, table-eating Smurf likes to chomp down on the edges of tables. Even Papa Smurf seems confused by his behavior. By the end of the movie, 2 female Smurfs from the Lost Village join him in his bizarre habit.
Oh, geez.
Gotcha.
That's not.
As he gets to the ladies, the table-eating Smurf.
That's right. Well, here's what all this means.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
You won. You won, dude. Well done. You're the winner of today's ANTP, which today stands for actual not pod. Anyway, it doesn't. I don't know what it means. It means it means you win. Congratulations.
Yes.
Ta-da!
Yay!
Good job. All you got to do is email Brian or grab him on Discord or wherever you guys have previously communicated, and he will hook you up with your codes. Congratulations and well done, sir. How do you feel?
I feel incredible right now.
Oh, wow. Well,
a glow.
Yeah.
You're like Incredible Smurf.
You're Incredible Smurf.
You're
Winner Smurf.
Yeah.
Chicken dinner Smurf.
Did you say Boner Smurf? Did I hear that right? You
I said Winner Smurf.
Oh, Winner.
but,
I heard Boner. All right.
Of course you did.
I think I heard Boner. All right. Thank you. Well done, Bobby. We'll see you later. Oh,
paging Dr. Freud. Scott heard Boner.
I heard Boner. Big shock. All right. Hey, Dunaway, well done. Today at 3:30 Mountain Time, we are doing the Boop Show. Yes, sir, we are. That's
it's happening.
It's happening today. I gotta extol the virtues of Littlewood, my favorite weird new game on Twitch, or on stream rather, or on Steam. I can't say words, and that's
Steam,
today. Yeah. So come around and be hearing about that and other things we'll talk about today on the video game show known as The Boop Show. You can find it at frogpants.com/BOOP, and Brian Dunaway will be there with me. That's 3:30 Mountain Time right here at frogpants.tv. Brian, anything else you want to say?
Boner Smurf.
Boner Smurf.
Boner Smurf.
Bye now. All right.
If that Smurf lasts for 4 hours or longer, please consult Dr. Who Smurf.
Indeed. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Steven and Daryl. Before we do that, though, tell people what's coming up or is up on Soundography right now.
Yeah, Soundography just posted a new episode today about the band Loverboy. Listen, we know Turn Me Loose. We know Working for the Weekend. Do we know anything else? Almost Paradise. I guess that was partially Mike Reno. Anyway, we listened to the entire catalog, Hammond and I, and we got to tell you, well, it was a rough listen. That's what we're going to tell you. But there are some highlights. Check out our brand new episode on soundography.com about Loverboy.
Wow. All right, check that out. When we come back, Steven, so stick around. Let's do a song, though. What do you got?
Yeah, I've got a brand new song by the band Diet Sig. That's right, Diet Sig.
Ugh.
C-I-G. They are the critically acclaimed duo of Alex Luciano and Noah Bowman, back with a new song called Night Terrors, their first bit of music since 2017 when they put out their debut album called Swear I'm Good at This. What's really cool about, like, if you like Juliana Hatfield, if you like, it's like churches without the electronic sensibilities of churches. It's really, really good. Night Terrors, you're about to hear. Here is Diet Sig.
My watchman had his teeth knocked out and can take on this soup.
My name is LaBeef.
The Morning Stream. Better than a straw tart blueberry Pop-Tarts. Pop-Torch. Gonna take me a couple to get that one. Hang on. Better than a straw tart. This is recording, right? Let me check. Better than a straw tart. Better than a straw tart blueberry Pop-Torch.
That one's always good. Love that one.
Favorite.
Yep. Thank you, Scott Fletcher. We don't give him enough credit on here for his rad
We do not.
segues. He's great. We love Scott.
Always need more of him in our lives.
Always more Fletcher. All right. Where are we now? What do we do now? What am I to do?
What do we do now?
Let's get Steven all up in it and get to it. We got some cool stuff going on today with him.
Yeah.
We also have I have stuff to say about that Picard premiere with Daryl. No spoilers today, but we'll have some discussion, you guys. Don't you worry.
We will. We will talk. We will talk about it.
We will.
Steven.
It's Steven Schleicher all the way from Hays, Kansas in these States United. Hello, Steven.
Hello, Scott. Hello, Brian.
It's nice to have you here.
Steven.
Majorspoilers.com, my favorite place to go to learn about comic-related stuff and other pop culture niceties. And he comes on Mondays. We talk about this stuff a little more at length here on the show. It's good to have you. Let's get right to it. Here's the question. All right? I'm gonna ask a question. You actually asked this question, but I'm going to ask it as if I'm asking you. Okay, so here you go.
All right, I got it.
What do Wonder Woman, Robin, Flash, Catwoman, and Joker have in common?
They're all DC Comics characters.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they all wear tights.
Yeah, there's probably more to it than that, but yes.
Yes, actually, they all turned 80 years old in 2020. They all debuted in either national publications or other comics that were coming out at the time, but are now all part of DC Comics 80 years ago this year. So DC is celebrating with a number of 100-page giants. The Wonder Woman issue number 750 just dropped last week. Flash, I believe, comes out next week. And then we have in March, we have Catwoman and Joker. And then in April, Robin gets his 80th anniversary spectacular.
They should just call it Dick. Because we're talking about Dick Grayson here, right? That
I
Robin?
thought you were talking about Boner Smurf or whatever.
No, that comic is a long time.
Is Robin Dick Grayson back to being Robin, or is he still Nightwing?
No. He's still Nightwing.
Okay.
And they have the worst Robin of all time as the current
And
Robin.
is that Batman's kid? Is that the one?
Yeah, Damian Wayne. It's the worst Robin of all time.
It's
what,
not
Damon Wayans is Robin?
Yeah,
Yes,
Damon Wayans finally in the role of a lifetime. Brian, he's finally Robin. I don't like it either. I don't think it's a good Robin. I even think like Scott Snyder and those guys took a crack at some of that, and it's okay, but I just don't think you can help that character. They got to do something else.
The best, if people want to read some really interesting Damian Wayne stories, they should check out the Super Sons series that features Robin and Jonathan Kent, or John Kent, the new Superboy, Lois and Clark's kid.
Yeah.
And they have some great adventures, and it is more kids having fun as opposed to grumpy goth child running around trying to, edgelord out his dad.
Well, God, is that really what it is? Like he's just
yeah, he's just unbearable. He's just so annoying. I kind
of already hate it.
It's really bad, Brian.
I hate him.
It's really bad. Let me ask you this. Is there a possibility in any kind of future? I mean, comics are comics and they do all kinds of crazy things. But do you ever see a future where Nightwing's like, I'm hanging it up. I'm going to go back to being Robin because, Batman broke his leg or something. So I got to solve this or whatever. Do you think that's ever a thing or ever see Dick Grayson back in the thing?
No, I don't think so unless it's just for, some kind of a, super undercover thing. But he's an adult and he made, this is like, 1980 something. When he finally said, "I'm calling it quits as Robin, and I'm going to be known as Nightwing." This is in the Teen Titans series that kicked off the Tara Markov storyline.
Oh yeah, right.
I forget. I'm forgetting it off the top of my head. The Judas contract. Yeah,
contract. That's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I don't think that he's ever going back to being Robin. There are so many Robins that have come after him. At least 4 others that have had the name Robin. So I don't think we're going to see that.
Yeah. Well, never bring your kid to work is what I'm saying. Just leave Damien at home. Plus,
it does get pretty bad.
Plus, Damien's it's like a devil name, isn't it? They always give like Spawn of Satan the name Damien.
Right. Well, Damien Omen, right? Sure.
Oh yeah, right. The Omen. I forgot about that.
There is an anniversary issue called, I think it was Batman 666. And it takes a look at the future when Damien becomes Batman.
Really?
And he's evil, yes.
And it's the 666th episode, I see, or issue. I see what
something
they did.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice job, guys. Real subtle. Good year, though, for an 80-year-old Wonder Woman because of this list. So you got Wonder Woman, Robin, Flash, Catwoman, and Joker. She's the only one that would still be alive, right? And still looking young and still kicking ass.
Well, I mean, she's immortal, so yeah. I've seen some 80-year-olds that look pretty good still. So.
That's true. But she's the only one that would still be a dashing around in her costume.
Yes, unchanging. She is made from clay and a wish put into her and was given life. So yes, she'll be around for a long time. And that's kind of interesting that you bring that up because have you guys heard about this? Have you guys heard of 5G?
You mean the speed on your phone?
I get that in some areas in Denver on my phone. Yeah. Except it's 5GE.
Yeah, it's all bull crap, is what it is.
Yeah, it's not screwing up our weather predictions yet. No, I'm talking about 5G, the new, I guess, placeholder name or real name for the next reboot, relaunch, soft shifting of the DC universe from DC Comics. That's already started.
5G. Is that generation? Is that what it stands for? Do we know?
Yeah, I think it's the 5th generation, but it's also kind of interesting that AT&T now owns Warner Brothers, which owns DC Comics. So I don't know if there's some weird synergy going on there. But what's going to happen, and it's already started, it happened in Doomsday Clock number 12, and it really became official last week in Wonder Woman number 750.
Yeah.
They're monkeying around with the time stream just a little bit, talking about these very distinct generations of DC Comics. So the very first thing is we know that Superman is the first superhero that appeared in 1938, but in the new timeline, they are putting Wonder Woman as the first public superhero.
Whoa. Does that mean she lifts up the car and that you're going to make a cover, but she's holding the car instead of Superman holding the car?
No, it's not going to be that. But that actually happened in issue 750. It's the very last story, which introduces Wonder Woman as the first public superhero. She saves FDR. And then we see, kind of watching a newsreel, we see Alan Scott, the first Green Lantern, saying, oh, maybe it's time for the rest of us to come out. So what we're seeing is we're going to have the first storyline starting with Wonder Woman's first appearance. Then the second generation of superheroes in this new timeline will begin with the first appearance of Superman, and it goes all the way up into the Crisis on Infinite Earth. So essentially kind of your Silver Agey goodness type stuff.
Right.
And then the third age is Crisis on Infinite Earths up until Flashpoint, which came out in 2011. The fourth generation is what we're reading today, and the fifth generation is basically going on or starting to happen right now. I'm sure they'll have a big event coming up over the next year as they kind of shift these timelines around. But one of the things that we've talked about on the Major Spoilers podcast, and I don't know if we've mentioned it here or not, but they're getting ready to replace Batman. And it won't be Damian that takes his place, but anyone who has seen Crisis on Infinite Earths, you were introduced to a Luke Fox. And Luke Fox, who's been around in comics for, I want to say 10 years maybe already, on and off, he will be the new Batman.
Oh, okay.
So what they're trying to do is trying to age some of these characters and age them out.
Sure, but basically it just sounds like this isn't a permanent reset. This is just like them playing with alternate timelines, right? I mean,
if you had video on, you would see me with my hands up in the air going, yes, I don't know, because they're going to continue to monkey with timelines, and Marvel does a little bit better job of this, but they're still trying to figure out, well, when we did the New 52 and we relaunched this fourth generation of storytelling, we did away with all of the old continuity except for Batman and except for one other character. And of course, that caused all sorts of problems. So I think what they're trying to do is figure out a way that they can keep the old stuff and the new stuff and make people love it all the same. Diane Nelson, who was in charge of DC Comics a couple of years ago, said, hey, continuity doesn't matter. Just good stories make good stories. So don't get caught up in continuity. Just let all this stuff happen. But I think a lot of people are still hung up in continuity. Now, I said Marvel does a pretty good job of it. All they do is just shift the timeline. So, Iron Man started as a Vietnam War character, but then has shifted all the way up into like the Iraq War. And I'm sure, another decade we'll see him get his origin story in, who knows, whatever war is currently going on. So.
Right.
That Marvel shifts, DC kind of reboots.
Well, that's interesting. Typical comic move, right? Like they do this stuff all the time, but
they have to, to keep it relevant. Otherwise, you're wondering why Tony Stark is this 90-year-old guy walking around in a suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm into that. All right, so lots of cool stuff happening these days, and you can find all of it at majorspoilers.com and on the various podcasts you guys are hosting. Anything going on this week there that you would like to mention?
Just check out our podcast and stay Smurfy.
Oh, stay Smurfy. It's not quite the same as Hydrated, but I'll take it.
No, but he listens. I like that.
He does listen.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out if Daryl listens.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, daylight savings time.
Yeah, effed it up again, or whatever he says.
Have to get up in the effing dark.
Oh, I'm here? Oh, I am here.
Whoa, what?
You are here.
How did you pick up so quick after last
You're
week's
totally
nightmare?
Here.
That was crazy last week. How did that
well,
work?
last week I had to get on my son's system and try to make it work, but he had everything all messed up.
Oh yeah, that's what kids do.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, that's what kids do. I get it.
Kids.
Daryl, it's good to have you here though. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. You at work today? Is that where you're at?
Mm-hmm.
Big stuff going on. You got all sorts of secret-y things happening in the background that we can't know about.
I don't know.
A little bit.
I don't even know.
All right. Well, good luck with those. Let's play this for Daryl here. Where is it? Can't find it. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Here it is.
Hello, and welcome to Star Trek Adventure.
It's kind of fruity, isn't it?
It is pretty fruity. All right, so quick review. My hot review of Picard, and then I want all of us to do the same. Okay, I want us all to dive in on this. No spoilers, chat room. We're not going to give any. Be hard to spoil it anyway, because I'm not even really sure where the story's going.
It's a lot of it was a very big setup episode.
Yeah, not a lot of resolution, which is fine. But anyway, I really liked it. I liked the tone of it. I liked that it felt modern, but it definitely felt like Picard and his sensibilities. I'm excited to have a protagonist back in Star Trek that is not just, the kind. He's like a righteous warrior, man. The guy's just awesome and is always aiming to do the right thing in the situation he's in. And I miss that in Star Trek. There's an optimistic point of view there that I really like. And Picard's the guy to bring it. It felt very Trekky. I want to make a side comment about how amazing I think the music is. And I don't just mean the intro. I think the orchestration and theme stuff throughout the score, all of it is very cool. And like next level Star Trek stuff, I really like it. And I really liked it, like a lot. And I'm stoked to see where it goes.
Did you watch Children of Mars, the short trek?
No, I missed that, and I should have. I can still watch it in retrospect.
You can still
I
watch
guess.
it. Yeah, of course.
But you made it sound like there was some good lead up there, like some.
There are connections. I wouldn't say it's certainly not like, oh yeah, you won't understand anything that's going on in Picard unless you watch it, because that's absolutely not true. But there are some nice connections that.
Right.
It doesn't add much, but it's interesting and.
Sure.
A good thing.
It may actually add more. Maybe it's one. Is it one of those things that adds more now that you've seen the first episode and you're like, oh, okay, that first thing has some significance if you know.
A little, not much.
All right. So, I liked it. I like the supporting cast so far. We haven't met a lot of people yet, but we'll see them in upcoming episodes based on the preview. Some familiar faces as well, which is obvious if you've seen some trailers, and it also has a quality to it that reminds me of the flute episode of TNG.
Yeah.
And
Inner Light.
Yes, Inner Light. I always remember the name of it, and you always remember it somehow. So
well, only because Andrew Allen we had to do that song for one of the albums.
Oh, right. Yeah. He probably never wants to hear that word again. And then what was the other thing? And then it reminds me of All Good Things. There's like just this quality of like melancholy and tough challenge for Jean-Luc, and I don't know, it's really ringing my bell, so I'm into it. So Daryl or Brian, let's do Brian, and then I want to hear the Trek Nerd's final take. So Brian,
mine will be really quick because you kind of hit all the things that I wanted to say. I mean, it sets up some really interesting world building. There's stuff I really want to know more about, and obviously we're just getting a taste of these things like the Institute, the Daystrom Institute, and
Anaheim Convention Center.
Chateau Picard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing more about this whole world that they're creating.
Yeah.
And I can't really add anything else that you didn't already say. So now Daryl.
Okay, I agree with all of the above. Plus, I think there's social commentary in there which has been missing from recent Trek, and I think the whole thing is just going in the right direction. I think they're learning from what they've done and their mistakes, and they say, we're learning and we're gonna do it better. Yeah. And so I think they're just getting better and better, and I'm purring like a kitten because I just love it.
Yeah, I got the impression from your posts and things that you were feeling pretty good about it, but it's good to hear that it's doing. I mean, yes, you're right. The social commentary stuff, which Star Trek was always famous for, TNG did really well, and TOS did really well, and to some level, DS9 and Voyager also dealt with a lot of the same issues, if a little rehashed. But this seems like a return to that form.
Yes.
In a way that I wasn't expecting. I kind of just thought it would be dust off the old uniform, Captain. It's time for another ride or whatever. And there is some of that, but it's definitely
it's just not. It's not all blowing stuff up.
Right, and his motivations are what's driving it, and they're motivations you can relate to, and it's just really strong so far.
Yes, they're very honorable and very Starfleetish, and just lovely.
Yeah,
I'm wondering who people hate more now in the sci-fi universe: the stormtrooper that punched Yoda, or the woman that interviews Picard.
Oh man, she was like. I mean, I know that there's some of your social commentary, right? There's a little bit of your.
There's one gripe right there that I didn't like.
You don't like the FNN thing, do you? You don't like
the tabloid stuff. We're gonna be beyond that in 200 or 300 years.
Oh, I hope so, but
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
let's be optimistic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair. Yeah, I think if any time you've got conflict, whether it's on a global or intergalactic scale, you're gonna have your wildly clashing opinions, and that draws eyeballs. I don't know how you ever get rid of that. I think humans are weird that way, but anyway, I think they handled that stuff okay, and I needed him to do what he did, and say what he said. It was great. So I don't understand why Entertainment Weekly says it's a catastrophe of a first episode.
Probably because it pokes fun at that lady.
Yeah, maybe.
The tabloid TV interview.
Yeah, they were not. They said, "Here's this." It was an atrocious first episode, and here's how they can save the show. And I'm like, did you watch the same thing I watched? And no, I haven't read any reviews like that. Everything else I've read is positive from like most review press.
Yeah, and really, you shouldn't be able to review a TV show until you see 3 episodes of it, in my opinion.
At least, yeah.
And they all they talked about was the first one, which is weird because you'd think they'd get screeners for the first 3 or whatever, like most of these places do. So I don't know what that's about, but anyway, it's very good.
I don't know. I don't know what their deal is.
It's really good.
This
guys.
can't be an honest opinion.
No, it can't be, right? Or it's just there to kick up nerd dirt or something.
Yeah, it's there to make us all talk.
Because even if you said, "Oh, I don't necessarily like this setup," okay, that's fair, but you can't argue that it's not being executed well. You just may not. Maybe you're not into that thing. It's like saying you're not into Star Trek at all. You can't.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means you don't like it. You know.
You have 10 staff people, and you pick the one that doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's weird.
Right.
Anyway, that's on Thursdays now. Is that the date?
Yep.
Wow, Thursdays are back to must-see TV, man.
Oh yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Just a different network and app now instead of a.
And with this one, you could always wait until about 6 or 7 episodes in, and then get your CBS All Access and then binge watch it. But I couldn't do it. I'd be worried about spoilers and.
Oh yeah.
It's been a long time since I've been excited for a Trek
long
episode. Not a long road.
I know. Listen, you begin anything with "It's been a long," and I'm just gonna start singing that. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, I will say this one thing. Not a spoiler, okay? But there's one of the next gen movies is often people criticize it a lot and don't like it. And I've always really liked it. And I don't know why I've always had such a different opinion than most everybody else. This first episode actually addresses stuff from that movie as if it's canon and strong piece of canon. So
Nemesis, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm all good with it in the hood. They're respecting the one thing I liked about the latter films and so all this is gravy for me. I'm loving it. And he is looking really old, but it's perfect for what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They even have him in story-wise being older than he actually is.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of that Will Wheaton after show stuff. Is that any good?
Oh, that's really good. Yes. I'm so glad he's there.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm so glad he's there.
All right.
I might have to. I'll watch that this afternoon.
He is now the age that that Patrick Stewart was when he first took the role of Jean-Luc Picard. Think of that.
What?
That's crazy.
Yep.
No.
Yep. That is correct.
Wow.
40,
that's weird.
45, whatever it was. 40s, mid 40s. And he's there. He's now there.
Wow.
That's like when I found out Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill's the exact age as Obi-Wan was when they made the first Star Wars.
Right.
Which just doesn't seem right, but whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is great. I'm super stoked about all of this. Now, we have some other items. Whoopi Goldberg accepted Patrick Stewart's offer to be on season 2, and it was on The View, a thing she does. I'm sure stuff happens in the background, too. This is just like a fun little showing of it on stage or whatever. It's not like he gets to make this decision in real time.
Yeah, it's not like a wedding proposal where she is not going to say no.
Right. We knew she'd say yes, but that's an interesting ad, I guess, to have her there. And that also wasn't that how they confirmed season 2, or had we heard before that season 2 was happening?
Oh, we heard before that season 2 was a thing.
Okay.
And I'm really super happy to have Whoopi Goldberg in it. In fact, that was one of the things I wanted to see in episode 1 of whatever the next Trek thing was, long before Discovery.
Guinan's amazing. It's a great character. It's a great add to the show.
And Whoopi hasn't aged a day. Well, she's
got the
I
gray.
wouldn't call it aging.
She's got the gray cornrow things, but she could cut. You can get rid of that.
She could still pull off. She can pull off Guinan better than Brett Spiner can pull off. Same age.
You know what? Data. I got over that though. I didn't think I was gonna. At first, it's shocking, but I got over it because the context of it is real good. and he also is perfectly characterization of him again.
And they put something in canon in TNG long ago that Data has an aging function, so he does actually age.
Yeah, it just
the same technology that Arnold Schwarzenegger describes in the most recent Terminator movie as to why he looks old.
Because do they do that in that? They explain
they
that?
do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering how they get around that because
they put an aging subroutine into my programming.
Oh, that's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
When you guys sit around and you just go.
Oh, I can't. That's how shocking, Daryl, to hear that from a guy that can talk and gag at the same time or whatever it is you do.
I could do talking, gagging, and go.
Yeah, do
at
it.
the same time.
Do it at work.
Yeah, you don't need
You won't
to,
get
though.
fired for that. Go for it. No? Wow. Sorry, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Holy Moses.
Jeannie's going to say muted. Just a second here.
My favorite recent Arnold, this isn't recent, but when he said this.
I can smoke stogies in my house. First of all, because her father introduced me to stogies, and second of all, because I'm a stud.
Zig the wall.
Love him.
I'm a stud.
Anyway, yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Tell us about section 31 starts in May. It starts filming in May.
Mm-hmm.
This is that offshoot with Ning Mao Poo or whatever her name is. What's her name?
Giorgio, whatever her name is.
Giorgio.
What's the actress?
O'Keefe.
Not Ming-No Wen.
Captain Giorgio.
Long Dardo.
Yes.
What is it?
She's the crazy rich Asian.
Yeah, she's great. She's in a million things.
great.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, million movies. No, not her. Michelle Yeoh. That's it. Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool. I actually really like where that thing may go. So let's do it
for sure.
Let's have our. That's the thing. Let's have our action-packed dark Trek. That's fine. Have it. And let's have our thoughtful Picard. At the same time, you can have these two at the same time.
And we can even have our exploratory, discovery now in uncharted areas.
Yeah. I wonder if it won't be as dark as planned because of the success of the Picard show.
Oh, maybe. I mean, if they haven't started yet, a lot of this will help.
Yeah, they do start now, or not now, but in May. Maybe they'll change stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and Discovery can continue to be their little action-y thing. It's fine, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, I say more Star Trek. I'm not tired of this. Bring it on. Let's
yeah,
go.
and the more they make, the better it gets. So, yeah. I'm kind of excited for it now.
I'm excited to go to the Riker's house. Or do you think Troy takes on the Riker name, or does he take on the Troy name? Because she's pretty tough. What would you do?
Oh, that'd be neat.
Yeah.
What do they name their dog?
No, wait.
Alexander. Wesley.
And they're always saying, "Shut up, Wesley," because it's a yappy dog.
If they name their dog Wesley, I will die laughing so hard. That would be the funniest freaking thing. All right, Daryl, always a pleasure to hang out with you and talk about Star Trek. You have a show. It's called This Week in Trek, which you can find over at thisweekintrek.com. Anything else? Or what are you guys doing right now? Probably a lot of Picard stuff, yeah? A lot of reviewing?
And every Sunday we review an episode with tons of spoilers.
That's pretty rad.
Nice.
So go check that out if you have any additional interest in Star Trek. I think you'll enjoy it. Daryl Skills, everybody. He is the Trek Nerd on Twitter. Daryl, any final words?
Ga.
Oh, I thought he was going to gag and barf or whatever at the same time.
Oh, I'm so glad he didn't. Thank you for not doing that.
Me too. All right, Brian, we're now at the show
Poor
part
Jeannie.
that I know. It was a real bummer. Is that true? Blue John Ridge reminds us that in Nemesis, Picard refers to Riker as Mr. Troy.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think he was teasing him, though, because he was like saying, yeah, you're not wearing the pants in this relationship.
Yeah, right.
You don't have the camel toe in this relationship, he said.
Right. You're not wearing the unbecoming leotard in this family.
No. No. Boofy haircut. All right. Let's do a Monday mashup. How's that sound to you?
Yeah, sounds great.
This is from Jamie. This one is titled Ibit Calls It. And
okay.
I don't know what it is, so we'll just play it. Here you go. We're rubbing their
course.
chode.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
yes.
we're rubbing their chode.
Rubbing their chode.
Rated T for too much sass.
put him in a cell with Lori Loughlin and probably reduce her sentence down to 6 months.
Boom.
With Fart Man.
Problem solved.
With Hyper Anger Fart Man.
Yeah, Hyper Anger Fart Man.
Aeroflot.
Aeroflot, sorry.
Aeroflot.
Aeroflot.
Would you like to take a flat? Where would you like to flat to
Where
today?
would you like to go flat? Get on plane. I gotta go over to Bill Dover's house to get some truck parts.
I've got a particular set of skills on this train. I have to find the bomb.
I have a particular 20-minute drive to work every day.
Exactly.
That's my commute.
I might read the newspaper. I might listen to This American Life Farm podcast.
Oh no, the Billingham's coming. Did you keep
I'm here to collect your taxes.
Yeah. I'm here for your taxes. Don't think you can hide your taxes under the bed.
I'll root them out.
I'm the Billingham.
Mary Poppins, what are you? You flopped out your boobies, Mary Poppins, Philip.
Sing do re mi and a spoonful of sugar or something. Get me back to what I know.
Yeah, that sounds all right then.
A
Sausage.
Wiener
noodles.
Schnitzel.
Yeah. You want to take the whole thing in your mouth at once? You
I
want?
think it is.
Hide the girl power.
Put it in the boots. Don't swallow it, Philip. Philip.
I love how Queen Elizabeth is now a Spice Girl.
Can't help it. Yo, baby, peel my bananas.
Jeez, pull it out, buddy.
Woo! Now we just bite into it, I guess. So mine's misshapen. Brian Ibbett has confirmed he will have his wiener out the entire 3 days. Pooped it out, slapped it on the butt. Is it normal at my age to grow a vagina? What is that about? Oh yeah, the Hindus, they just love slicing each other up with freaking cock blades. Doesn't sound good the way I said it.
No, it really did. But boy, will that will be a peak of the mashup right there. That's going to be the apex of TMS mashups this coming Monday.
No, it totally was. Look at that. He ended it.
It was the grand finale.
Yeah, you wouldn't
The
call
climax.
it apex. Apex would be in the middle, right?
Right,
The
yeah.
height of it. So
Well, the height. Yeah, the hump day.
really good stuff, Jamie. I did notice though he put in here something about vodka-soaked tampons. Oh, because we talked about these on PM and we were like, didn't we talk about these before? And we couldn't remember if we talked about them.
Yeah,
we did.
we did.
I'm gonna play this. This is from 2011.
Okay.
No-
Oh wow, from the early days.
Yeah, November 2011, and so that's why I don't remember. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
But I guess this is a thing we did. So here you go. Oh, it's in this form too. Okay. Here's the best health thing I've heard all day, though. Kids are using vodka-soaked what to get drunk? All right, if you don't believe me, I'll let them tell you what it is because I'm mortified by this. So here it is. Check it out.
I've got to tell you, Steen and Catherine, two things I never thought would appear in the same sentence: tampons and vodka. Do I have your attention?
Yes,
Mr.
all
Watching
right.
Chelsea Handler.
Oh, okay, it gets worse.
Because if you're a parent, you really need to hear this.
There's been documented cases of people going to the hospital with alcohol poisoning just from utilizing it that way.
Officer Chris Thomas spends his days patrolling the halls of a Valley high school. He's heard firsthand how kids are getting tipsy.
What we're hearing about is teenagers utilizing tampons, soak them in vodka first before using them.
You heard right. Teens taking tampons, soaking them in vodka, and inserting them there.
It gets absorbed directly into the bloodstream. There's no barrier, there's no stomach acid, there's nothing to prevent it.
I would expect it to absorb fairly quickly as well because it's a very vascular structure.
This is definitely not just girls. Guys will also use it and they'll insert them into their rectum.
Okay, stop.
Okay, there you go. Question answered.
Holy crap.
I was raising my hand. That was going to be my first question.
Now, Brian, you're going, this story can't get worse. Like, this is the worst of, like, first of all, it's the worst of sensationalistic local news.
Sure.
It gets a little worse. So just
Worse?
listen
Oh, no.
on. There's more.
And that's not all.
Using a beer bong rectally is the same concept as a vodka-soaked tampon.
Yep, rather than the traditional beer bong you'd find at a college party, kids are sticking the tube elsewhere.
Oh my gosh. What is going on? What world do I live in where the news has got that figured out? Are people
I just
dropping
figured figured out the way that I can open my bar and save on glassware.
See, we were at it. We were all over that topic.
We were totally all over it. And what we didn't talk about on that, I'm surprised we didn't, or maybe we did and it just didn't make it into the mashup. How many kids tried it because they heard about it from this sensational news story? Said, what, vodka? So, all right, I guess I'll give it a try.
Yeah, just
Probably
it's like
two
the
people
testicle
did
tasting
it.
and all that stuff.
It became a news thing. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, same deal. I agree. Tide Pods, same thing, right?
Right.
Somebody heard, someone ate a Tide Pod. Really? No. Oh, we should try it and see if it works. Yeah, it's totally that.
Totally that.
Sensational news coverage.
Right.
the best you can get here at TMS. All right, that's it. That's the show, folks. It's funny, this topic came up again on last Friday's TMS PM episode, which you now can only get by being a patron. Patreon.com/TMS. Even $1 a month to get you in. A lot of you have joined up since then, and we appreciate it. That means you're getting that episode. Also, I'm going to put the video up there as well. I just figured out a way to do it after the fact,
cool.
so you get the archive there since it's not on YouTube. So anyway.
And not just hyperbole, but I'm saying that was one of our funniest TMS PMs ever.
It was really funny. Like, it's not us just saying, "Oh, look what you're missing out." It was so funny.
Right. No,
it was actually funny.
It was actually really funny.
It was really good. So check that out. That'll be in there in perpetuity to anyone who, if you join now, you still get access to it and old ones. So it's not like they go away. Anyway, if you want to be a part of that, patreon.com/TMS. For everything else, frogpants.com/TMS. As a reminder, later today, 3:30 Mountain Time, we'll be doing an episode of the Boop Show. Put up a new skim yesterday. There's a new film sack in the wild. Lots of content to get you caught up before we do another TMS tomorrow. So do that. Brian, anything else you got, or should we just do a song?
I got nothing. I mean, tonight we're going to be recording the reunion, getting all the season 2 contestants from America's Next Top Podcaster together to see what they've been up to over the last couple months since we wrapped the show. And that'll be up on the feed as soon as Hammond gets his grubby little fingers all over it.
Nice. He does have grubby fingers.
He does have grubby fingers. I've actually looked. They're grubby.
Yeah, he's Grubby Smurf. We're going to call him that from now on. All right.
He's clearly Papa Smurf. I mean, you look at that beard.
Red pants, all of it.
Exactly. He's a silly hat away from being Papa Smurf.
Yep, there it is. All right, let's play a song. Do you have one?
I do.
Great.
Mike C. wrote in, and I'm now going to drop into a lower register.
Oh.
Mike C. wrote in and said, a great friend of mine passed away at the young age of 51 last Friday. Left behind a wife, 2 young children. His name was Brian. He was one of the kindest and funniest guys you'd ever want to know. One of the bands he always had a passion for was Cheap Trick. So any song originally performed by them or another band covering them would be an awesome memorial to my friend of the last 12 years. Thanks, guys. Sorry for the down request. Signed, Mike C. from Chicagoland.
That one hits hard. That's too close to our age. That's starting
Well,
to
it
feel...
is our age. Well, yeah, close to our age. Yeah, I'm kidding.
I'm so sorry about
so I'm playing one of my favorites for this one. It's one that I was surprised I've never played on TMS before. The band Concrete Blonde, on their CD single for the song Mexican Moon, included this cover of Cheap Trick's Mandocello. And this is one of my not just favorite covers, but favorite songs of all time. This would probably be in my top 50 list of great songs. Here's Concrete Blonde and their cover of Mandocello. I think Mandocello. They don't say the don't. It's one of those songs where they don't say the title in the song. I believe it's pronounced Mandocello. We're gonna say Mandocello.
All right. Well, here you go. This is it. Be back here tomorrow for a whole nother episode. We'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Swear in front of Pud.
Yeah, don't swear in front of Pud.
No, the